War Dog, launch!
That stupid geezer base commander just won't give us a break, will he?
He's relying on us, First Lieutenant Chopper. Hey, congratulations on your promotion, by the way.
That's weird. I don't feel any better.
Hey, you two. What's your current position?
300 miles south of you.
Roger.
Damaged, but the damage is light.
Transmitting aircraft. State your assignment and current status.
Oh, finally, a response. This is the Ocean Air Force transport plane Mother Goose 1. We're flying to the neutral country of North... We have the transmitter set to minimum power. Please come in closer so we can hear. I think this is you on our radar. Can you see us? We'd like you to guide us to a safe passage corridor through the AA defenses. We're on a top-secret mission and are not transmitting a valid friendly ID signal to the ground-based automatic defense systems. As a result, a friendly surface-to-air missile was mistakenly fired at us. We narrowly avoided a direct hit, but our radar system was destroyed, and we can't fly a safe path through the AA system.
Guide the transport plane through the AA system's radar coverage and take it to Ackerson Hill. The transport is on a top-secret mission, so its ID signal has not been registered in the AA system's database. As a result, if the transport is picked up by the AA system, it may be shot down by our own missile fire. The engagement zone of this ground-based AA system is displayed on your radar. Due to combat damage, the transport's radar system is inoperable, and its maneuverability restricted. Guide the plane so it stays out of the AA system's engagement zone.
Okay, so we've been briefed on exactly what we're supposed to do pretty much 3 times here. So, yeah. And once again, welcome back to Let's Play Ace Combat 5. So, without further ado, let's get back into our mission.
Closing on your position. First bad guys we've seen crossing the pond for a while. Warning alarms are going off like mad, but we're the only ones near enough to intercept them in time. Hold on, baby. We're coming to your rescue.
Understood. I'm counting on you two. Blaze, can you see the transport craft?
Sure can.
Roger. Keep your eyes on it.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's another point that I wanted to make about the F-15 is the particular model that I have in terms of like the Hobbymaster diecast version is actually the Japan Self-Defense Force version of the F-15. So Japan does have its own model of the F-15, which they pretty much call the F-15J. And it's pretty much a similar case as like the F2 and how it's developed and produced by Mitsubishi.
Mother Goose 1, any problems on your end?
No problems. We'd like to get out of this airspace ASAP.
Okay. So essentially,
Of course, that avoids the AA system.
yeah, of course. Essentially, the trick here is keep your eye glued to the radar on the bottom left there. Anything that's within the green circles means that's like anti-aircraft weaponry is positioned there. So you just gotta take your time and just sort of like fly through the areas that aren't lit.
Roger, I'm switching. My plane's damaged, so I can't put enough stress on the airframe.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
much as you can, try to fly in a straight line for me.
of course.
Ocean Air Force fighter pilot, can you see us?
Affirmative.
Roger, please show us the way. I never thought the skies over our own country could be so unfriendly.
Oh, jeez, Nagasaki. God. Flying a little close there. Yeah, she does that. Yeah, and I suppose for any of you guys who know Top Gun, well, Mother Goose 1 is a reference to Top Gun, with like Goose being Maverick, or Tom Cruise's wingman within the movie. So actually, yeah, Ace Combat, a lot of Top Gun references. Like for you guys who watched like the movie, you'll catch them on. There's like a whole bunch of references to like Top Gun, and if you are into anime, then you'll probably catch on to a lot of Macross or / Robotech, because Macross and Robotech are kind of the same thing. Robotech is sort of like the North American adaptation of it, so there's like slight changes to the story and everything, but the original is from Japan, and that's Macross.
Do you know the wavelengths?
Yep.
Roger.
Thank goodness we have all of you with us. Everything's smooth on our end.
Good to hear.
That's good. I appreciate it if you could minimize your turns.
Yeah, so
I'm blind as a bat here. I'm relying on you to lead me to safety.
yeah. So yeah, all I'm really doing to turning is just pressing the triggers to yaw left or right.
I'll take the controls. You check the instruments for me. Look forward and take a deep breath. Stay calm. It's okay. It was just a sensor malfunction.
Huh, that's actually a little shorter than I thought. In terms of flying through the defense systems. It'd take a little longer than that.
We'll be out of the AA defense systems coverage shortly.
This is Mother Goose 1. We've successfully navigated through the AA system. Thank you. However, I'd like to ask for your continued escort.
Enemy spotted on radar. Coming in.
Yep.
Chopper
I
team
see
has
them.
arrived.
Hey, kid. We're under your command now.
Mother Goose 1, we'll take care of him. Please separate at maximum speed.
Please, I'm counting on you.
Mother Goose 1, don't panic. We'll protect you no matter what. Additional enemy targets on radar. Mother Goose 1, please keep your current vector.
Roger. Roger. Damn it.
Your speed's decreasing. What's the matter?
Mechanical trouble. I'm losing thrust on engine 1. Hey! I see escort fighters! I thought there weren't going to be any escorts. Captain, there's a problem with the hydraulics. Roger! Leave it to me! The fire's under control. Automatic extinguisher system activated. Chopper engaging. Archer engaging.
Okay, we're against a couple of Tomcats.
Change direction. It's all right. We can make up the loss.
Target hit.
Nice.
Annihilated. Get back in your seat. Don't approach them. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, it's Dutch rolling. This is transport. Mother Goose 1. The captain's been shot. What? There was a spy in the crew.
Okay, then let's clear a path. Okay, so you guys should definitely keep an eye on, or at least keep in mind the radio conversations within this mission, because it's going to be really important later on.
Still there, ma'am? Lovely voice. Miss.
First Lieutenant K9 said, Sir.
And a lovely name as well. And I'm Chopper. That's a good name, too. I like you, man. Tommy's going to try landing now. He's doing his best, but he's never done this before. I don't know if we'll make it, so I just want to thank you before we go.
You'll be okay.
Yes, you'll do fine.
Tommy, those broken windmills will be our guideposts. Hey, kid, don't give yourself a headache aiming at every single one.
I'd rather play it safe with these windmills. I don't like taking chances.
Wait for us.
These windmills are huge, but they're still a hard target from up here. This is gonna be difficult. I have to aim carefully.
Almost there. You're doing great, Tommy. Those pilots ought to recruit you. This job's starting to wear me out a little. They're gonna be in for a pretty hard landing. Altitude 100 feet. Almost there, I think.
Mother Goose 1, just keep going.
That's a pretty good runway there. A fine place for a landing. That's a pretty good emergency landing, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is Archer. Surrounding airspace is clear of enemy aircraft. Everything is A-OK.
Mother Goose 1, landing confirmed. Are you all right, Mr. Cargo?
Yeah, I guess. That was a pretty smooth ride, actually.
Mr. Cargo, I've got a question I'd like to ask you.
What is it?
The Bird of Peace. Did you really have to use that beautiful white bird for this war? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to see your Bridge of Peace span into outer space.
It's still possible. Thanks to the bird, we're on even terms now. I'm trying to get to North Point because I believe we have a chance.
To hold talks in neutral territory.
Right. Communication is vital.
So I can still believe in you then. I don't want to see any more young men or women lose their lives.
Me neither. Uh-oh, I'm out of fuel. This is the Ocean Air Force 8492nd Squadron. We observed the emergency landing on our radar. Can you see us? You can leave the rest to us. We'll provide support until the transport plane's crew is rescued.
Roger, 8492nd. Take care of them for us.
Sure thing.
Okay, 8492nd Squadron. Keep that unit in mind if it's your first time through the series. And as for Mr. Cargo, yeah, he's also kind of important. Or at least, well, if you've been paying attention, it's pretty easy to piece it together, but he's the OCN president, and essentially we're trying to escort him so that he can get to these negotiations to sort of like figure out what the hell is going on with like this war and everything with like the Yuktabanians and everything, and hopefully we can peacefully settle things.
We've received a sitrep from Central Command. The crew on board the transport plane you encountered during your patrol has been rescued by the 8492nd Squadron. That is currently all the information we have.
After my article, The Four Wings of Sand Island, was published to wide acclaim, I grew bolder. Here was a profile view of the base commander. The Emperor of this base.
Don't. He's in a bad mood today. If he catches you, he'll have your head.
What happened?
The Arkbird.
Huh?
The white bird in outer space, with Yuktobania outclassing us in firepower. It was the President's one trump card in the peace negotiations. And now, it's fallen right out of our hands.
So you're saying we don't know how long the war will drag on? The Arkbird. A superweapon capable of attacking from space, far beyond the reach of the enemy. Its power generator was destroyed by explosives planted inside a supply shipment launched from Earth. Once again, the balance of power had tipped toward Yuktobania.
Okay, so we just got sabotaged, and now we don't know whether we can take on another submarine like the Sinfaxi or any super weapons, since Yuktobania still has that one other sub, the Hurimfaxi. So in terms of firepower, they technically outclass us. And we don't know how much longer this war will go on for, because the president is now missing. Very suspicious.
Our army is finally ready to conduct a large-scale counterattack against Yuktobania. If we succeed, we'll never have to face the humiliation of those Yukes trampling on our homeland again. The goal of this operation is simple: to invade and occupy the Yuktobanian mainland.
We're going to conduct a large-scale amphibious assault against Yuktobania on the Vostok Peninsula. This mission will be called Operation Footprint. The landing force will be selected from the 1st and 2nd Ocean Army Battalions. They will be divided into 4 companies, A, B, C, and D, and transported to the area via landing craft. Upon landing, each division will fan out and destroy the enemy bases scattered throughout the area, then rendezvous and reform into a single large force unit to assault the final target, the fortress. The Yuktobanian defense positions along the coast are tightly dug in, and we have concluded that air attacks alone will not be enough to destroy them. Therefore, Operation Footprint will be a synchronized air and ground attack to neutralize these positions. It is critical that you follow the specific targeting instructions of the ground commander to maximize the effects of your attacks. We are expecting poor weather conditions and fierce resistance from the Yuktobanian defense forces. The fortress is protected by pillboxes and a defensive wall. Provide close air support for the ground forces and get as many soldiers as possible inside.
I wish you the best of luck in battle.
Okay, so yeah, we're finally taking the fight to the enemy's homeland here, and we're right at their front door. So essentially the case here is listen very closely to the radio, because that will sort of help you coordinate with the ground units and know where to sort of like hit the enemy forces. So when they said pillboxes, what essentially pillboxes are practically like bunkers with like turrets and everything. And hold up, just gotta get a swig of water. Okay. And so this is I guess I was thinking about this for a while now. I was like, when should I share this one story that I once had? So way back when I was in high school, I remember doing a project for like the class, and the project was like presenting some sort of like presentation of like working with some sort of program, kind of like PowerPoint, and we had to do like some sort of like list of like maybe like top 10 movies or whatever. So I decided to do it with like video games, and Ace Combat 5 was like on that list. And I'm gonna go onto a little bit of a rant here, but essentially Ace Combat was on that list, and there's this other guy who sat next to me, and he is also a gamer too, so every once in a while, yeah, I used to like talk games with him and everything, but he was okay, I don't mean any offense by this to any of you guys who do play Call of Duty. Like, once again, for any of you guys who do know me and have seen my videos, I do have like certain stances that I take in terms of like Call of Duty and like modern gaming industry and everything, but this guy is, I would say, one of your legit like mainstream gamers or Call of Duty fanboys. So there are certain points where it just got a little frustrating trying to share interesting games with him, because all he really cared about were just the mainstream video games that you see nowadays. So this is why you kind of get sort of like old school gamers like me who have issues with like younger generation. So he noticed Ace Combat, and he's like, oh, so what's that about? I was like, oh, well, you essentially play as like a fighter pilot, and you fly fighter jets doing all these missions, shooting down enemy crafts, and sometimes you have to escort targets, and pretty much all the stuff that you've been watching recently, right? And the dude says, oh man, that sounds kind of boring. I was like, well, like, don't take it until you try it and everything. It's like, no, like, essentially, he wasn't up for like the idea and everything and whatnot, and he's talking about how like, oh yeah, it sounds completely like repetitive and shit, and I was like, Call of Duty is repetitive and shit, because I knew he played a lot of Call of Duty, because just think about like the multiplayer and everything. And pretty much I remember telling him, because it got to the point where like it's just a stupid argument, and like I was basically telling him what I told him was, fighter pilots aren't waiting for you to get your freaking 7-man kill streak just to freaking drop bombs on like that one annoying ass player that you've been trying to hunt down that entire game. So Ace Combat is sort of like a rough example of like what fighter pilots do. They're kind of busy shooting out other aircrafts so that you don't get airstriked on, essentially, if they're not doing the airstrikes on your enemies. So just, I don't know, just shit like that. That's why, like, I guess I'm a little bit bitter when it comes to like more younger generation gamers, or at least gamers who pay attention to a lot more mainstream and who don't bother checking out like some old stuff that pretty much helped developed like a lot of what the hell they play nowadays. So yeah, just
Captain, please choose my plane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I'll fly the MTD this next mission, but yeah, like definitely don't sink it until you try it. In terms of like games that you're not too familiar with, because I've been talking. I was talking to like Tekragon a little while ago, and we were talking about like MMORPGs. That's not really my thing, but I have been playing a little bit of like Phantasy Star Online 2. So I dabble in it. I'm at least willing to give it a shot and like play a little bit, even though they're not really my kind of games, and I don't like how free-to-play games are usually handled. I'm still willing to at least try.
Which plane am I going up in, Captain? Captain, which plane should I use?
Okay, we are on the 24-minute mark, so yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cut this off here, and then we're going to continue in the next part. As for like how many videos I guess I'll be trying to go through here, this will be a really long session just to make up for essentially the past few weeks of like no content at all on my channel. So I'll try to get as far as I can within the game. There's also another reason as to why I want to do it, because I kind of want to do it before next weekend, like as far as I can into this game before next weekend. I guess I have a little bit of a surprise planned. I don't really want to spoil it, so I'll leave it at that for now. So I'll see you guys in the next video here. So see you in a bit.